Today, I'm going to show you the exact framework I use to not only do 500 million in personal sales, meaning me in the transaction, but also my team doing over $1 billion in team sales with zero paid advertising and zero marketing, completely organic with the systems that I'm going to teach you today. Now, this is the framework that I use to do over 500 million in personal sales since the age of 20 years old. Now, I'm 34 now. Right, I've done over 500 million in the last 14 years in sales, ranging from everything you could imagine, from appliances, furniture, fund jumps. Then I got into financial services, insurance, investments. Then I got into entities, selling different products, whether it be digital assets, whether it be roofs, whether it be solar, then a bunch of different things. Now, not me as the actual sales guy in the field, but as an owner, teaching also my sales guys how to do it. And that's ranged from everything now to legitimately selling companies. So all this framework has been done to create an affiliate system, an affiliate network, and a sales associate network that has done over $1 billion in sales. And what I will tell you is a lot of people are so aggressive and they have this approach of just attack, attack, attack. And yes, that honestly may work in some fields. It honestly may work in some industries. That is something you might have to do, that boiler room mentality, right? There's the door knocking mentality, man. And by the way, kudos to all you door knockers, man. I give so much props and respect to people who can go out there and solicit to cold customers as far as walking on their property. Now, zero advertising. Now, think about this. How do we do that? If we don't have all of these inbound leads, it's because if you do this framework, it not only allows you to have a higher close ratio, but your clients will want to send business to you. And then when you actually help them, a lot of them, they want to be part of your sales associates or an affiliate or whatever network you're being a part of. And here's what I call it. I call the system conversational selling. I'm just having a conversation. I'm actually genuinely building rapport, genuinely building a relationship, because I think in the way of, if I'm going to do a conversational sell, I'm already creating a relationship, right? Which now what that's doing is that's creating a lifetime value of a client. There are all different types of selling techniques, man. We have such great people out there, from the legends like Tom Hopkins and Brian Tracy to now you got your Jamie Lee Miners, you've got your Daniel G's, you've got your Grant Cardones. I don't believe there's one size fits all for selling. In fact, if that was the case, then only one style of selling would be the only way we would all do it. You need to also figure out and adopt your style from whoever you learn from. My style might not be anything you want to do. Perfectly fine. But it's worked for me to do over $500 million in sales and counting every single day. In fact, just today, we did over 400,000 in sales today. In the last week, we've done over $1 million in sales just now. My team's at around 2 or 3 million. It might not work for you. In fact, you might see this and be like, that is so not my style. Great. Then look, find a mentor, find a trainer, find someone you look up to and learn their style. But the reason I like this approach is because I like lifetime value. I'm not just simply trying to do one transaction, thank you, ma'am, and leave, and I'm out. Because of JFJ Holding Systems, we have over 20 entities. And then I have a lot of friends that they have multiple entities, and I refer people to their networks and their entities all the time. I don't even have to make and own that business. I'll refer people that need their services and I'll get an affiliate kickback. Well, the only way I'm going to be able to do that is if I create a lifetime value, which a lot of times involves having a relationship. All right, so here's how I've done that in the last 10 years. First and foremost, I've always taught my agents when I was in insurance and investing, and I've taught my sales reps, my sales associates, and even my affiliates that at the end of the day, the first thing we want to do is make a friend. After that, we make a sale, and then we make a difference. At the end of the day, if you're focused on making a difference, it makes these two processes a lot easier because your motive and your intent is pure. Now, let's talk about this. A lot of people say, well, man, is that fake? Is that fake? Well, of course not. See, a lot of people think sales is this like rude, scary boiler room, beat you over the head with the price on it. That's just not true. Here's what I look at sales as. Sales is me helping a person make a decision that they should have made that's better for themselves that they probably would not have made without me encouraging them. They needed to make that investment into their IRA, into their retirement. They needed to make that purchase of life insurance to protect their family. They might have needed to get solar to be able to lower their electric bill. They need to set up a trust structure to protect them from taxes. They need to get a social media management package so they can get their brand out there. And they probably would not have made that decision if I don't encourage them that. They might need to get SOPs or marketing for their company. They might need to buy this company and have a cash cow for generations to come. So I need to sell them that company that they probably would not have made the decision without me. So I don't look at sales as this, go up there and beat you over the head for something. I'm out here trying to make a difference because if the outcome is what you're looking for, and I can explain the features and benefits of that outcome that makes a difference in your life, then the sale should be just part of the process. I don't want to have transactional relationships, but if I have genuine relationships with you, then I want to make transactions. Why wouldn't I want to eat with my friends? Why wouldn't I want you to eat at the table with me? So if I build a relationship with you, a true relationship, I want you to make more money. I want you to have better fitness. I want you to have better faith. I want you to have better fun. I want you to have better finances. I want you to have a better fitness journey. So if that's my true, genuine outcome, well, then why wouldn't I want to make you a friend? And then we do a lot of business together. So let's break this down. All right. So number one, how do I make a friend? Okay, a lot of times I need to be able to, especially in today's world with Instagram and TikTok and all this stuff, man, people's attention spans are like that. So a lot of times you only have 30 seconds to a couple minutes for them to decide, do I even want to keep going on this conversation or am I immediately turn off with this person? Number one, I think you should always do the very simple thing. Smile. Nobody wants to sit there and look at a dual disillusioned crybaby that's sitting there and they look like they're just egotistical or they're constipated because they can't smile. How's your energy? Do you smile? But here's the thing. You got to make a connection. Okay, what does that mean? If I'm genuinely building rapport, I'm going to throw out questions. I'm going to throw out statements. I'm going to ask about themselves. Why are they even here in the first place? What's your kind of goals? My goal is to find out about themselves. Maybe about their family. Maybe about, hey, did you play sports in high school? Right? What do you like to do in your free time? What's your hobbies? Right? I'm going to ask genuine questions. Is that fake? No, I genuinely want to know, because here's the thing. I love relationships. So I don't want to be on here and be bored and have zero connection with this person. And then once I make a connection, I then simply go in that direction. I can make a connection and go in that direction. Now, what does it actually mean? It means be genuine first before anything. Okay. So what does this mean? A lot of people will make a fake connection and people smell that crap right away. In fact, I used to tell my insurance agents back in the day, I used to tell them, hey, look, if you go into the house and you see fish all over the wall and you've never fished a day in your life and you go, wow, that's a really nice marlin, and it's a freaking bass, they won't even correct you. They know you're full of crap instantly. If you see a bunch of deer heads on the wall and you go, wow, man, yeah, I'm an avid hunter too, man. I love hunting for some elk, right? They're not going to correct you. See, you're trying to make a false connection. If I'm not a hunter, I'm not talking about hunting. If I'm not a fisherman, I'm not talking about fishing. So first thing, I'm the first one that talks about make a connection is I'm going to try to generally stay in subjects that I actually like. So I actually am genuinely liking that subject. That's genuine. So then if I do find a connection, what do? I go in that direction, right? Think about that. I have one mouth, two ears. So I'm gonna go in that direction. Man, what do you like about that? What's your favorite part about that? Man, that's amazing. Now I'm about to have a daughter. So I love talking about family. Now I've been married. I love my wife with everything, but you can make a connection in anything. You can make a connection in family. You can make a connection in faith. You can make a connection in fitness. That could be sports. That could be hobbies, etc. Fun, right? What do you like to do for fun? I like to wake surf. I like to wakeboard. I like to snowboard. I like to ski. So it is kind of easier for me to make a connection than your typical person if they have more or less one or two hobbies. But then talk about those one or two hobbies. Talk about the things that you actually enjoy so it's genuine. You're not faking it. And then my mouth closes, my ears open, and I let them explain to them, because here's the thing. People want to hear about themselves way more than you. People want to talk about themselves, but you're so busy trying to talk about all the stuff you do that you don't even know what they do, and there's no connection made. And then you immediately go into the sale. That's crazy. So number one, make a connection and then go in that direction. Why? Because people want to do business with someone they like, someone they trust, and someone that they actually could see themselves doing more deals with. A lot of people don't want to keep having to find more people to do deals with. They don't want to keep finding 17 people. If they can do a lot more transactions with just you and they like you, trust you, and they can build that rapport, build that relationship, why would they want to keep it outside of the house? Why would they want to get out the side of their circle? If I don't like trust or want to do more deals with you, I'm probably exiting myself out of that deal. I have turned down a lot of clients because some clients are just headaches. Like, hey, I don't want the commission. Here's my commission. Here's the product. Please leave me alone. Right? That goes both ways. It's not like you just have to be the one that likes them and that they have to like you. You need to like them too. So it goes both ways. But how would you know if you're going to like them if you have nothing to talk about? That's how we make a friend. That's how we move in that direction. But now we got to start getting into the sell side. So now I've made a connection about, hey, well, look, here's the reason I'm here, or here's the reason you're here. I know you referred to me. I know you came in through, if you're using advertising or marketing, I know you answered our ad. I know that's why you're here. Man, if you don't mind me asking, what about that's gotten you here? I want to actually experience what are their pain points. Here's the thing. If I'm truly trying to make a difference and I'm truly trying to make a sale, the easiest sale in the entire world to make is when you identify a pain point and then you can provide a solution. Because now I'm not selling you. I'm actually simply solving the problem that you just told me you had. And the only question they need to know from their pain point and your solution is why you? Why would I use you and not someone else down the street? That does come back to making a friend, making a sale, make a difference. It comes back to that, but I'm simply just having a conversation. Do I believe that every sales system should have a sales process? No question. But this part is simply just asking questions. Now, once the sell starts or the pitch starts or the deck starts, of course, there's a process. You need to make it duplicatable. You need to make it scalable. You need to make it teachable, right? So people can duplicate it. That's only when you scale. You cannot be just simply charismatic. You need to be able to build a business. Be a great salesperson, but never have a big business. So if I know they have zero pain point that I can solve, none of my products are actually going to help them, I'd rather know that in the first 10 to 15 minutes, like, hey, and let's say I'm a funding company and I'm trying to provide funding for people. And I say, hey, so what are your pain points? What are you looking for in the funding? What do you actually need this money for? Is it for expansion? Is it because you want to have better payroll? Is it because you want to get a new product? What is it for? And they go, oh, we actually have zero need for it. We actually don't want funding. That's actually, we got more cash than we know what to do with. And we actually don't even need anything else. Well, at that point, I want to know, okay, if funding's not here, I don't want to keep wasting my time trying to force a no into a yes if there's actually simply no need. I didn't say that there's an objection. I'm saying there's legitimately no need. That's how you ruin your reputation. You're out here force selling everybody. You know what I'd rather do in that moment? If I cannot find a pain point that I can actually solve, what am I going to do? Hey, I have no value for you. Do you know anybody else that might need some funding for their business? Because obviously we're friends and you know by my heart, I really want to make a difference, but I'm not going to force sell you on something you don't need. Man, who do you know in the area? Who do you know in your network that actually might need some business funding that I can help? You will be amazed. You're so focused on forcing this one person to buy, you missed the 10 to 20 to freaking 100 referrals he could send you because he loves you, but just didn't need your product. Now, let's say, for instance, he said you're doing funding and you go, hey, so what's some of your pain points? Man, I just can never seem to scale. Why do you think it is? Man, cash comes in, cash goes out. It's like, man, I mean, we're paying our bills. You know, we're making payroll. I'm making some profit. That's kind of where it stops. I just can't really expand. So, man, let me ask you a question. And this, if you have funding coming, let me ask you a question. If I can get you access to $150,000 to $300,000 at 0% interest, is that something that would actually help your business? Yes, I would. Okay, awesome. What's some of the solutions? Once again, coming back over here, what's some of the solutions that would help you with? Get them talking, get them actually do it for the right reason. What is it that they're actually needing the funding for? What do they need? Man, I really want to get this piece of equipment that could honestly add a new vertical in our business. Oh my gosh. Well, then what's been the reason you haven't got the funding yet? Man, I didn't know how. Maybe I didn't know who to apply with. Man, I applied and I only got a couple new limits. Oh my gosh. Well, hey, that's why we're here. Man, let me ask you a question. If I can put you with us, we have one of the lowest rates, man, we have one of the best client experiences. I've got all the relationships with all the bank managers out there. Man, I can really put you in a position to actually be able to get this pain point of not being able to scale solved. Man, if I could do that for you, is that something you want to explore and see if we can get that done for you? Well, yeah. Okay, cool. But look, it's very simple. Here's my fee, here's it. And then you go into your sales process. But now they're already excited. And now they feel like, man, you're just going to make a difference. That goes for anything, solar, that goes for life insurance, that goes for investments, that goes for trust, that goes for franchises, acquisitions, social media, SOPs. If they have the pain point that you can solve, why not use you? Well, it's probably because you went straight for the pain points, straight for the sale. You had zero conversation. You made zero connection. You didn't go in that direction. You found out nothing about themselves that would actually motivate them to want that solution. So then why would they make a sale with you if you haven't made a friend and they don't feel like you're here to make a difference? Here's the next step. Here's what I see all the time, and this is what I tell my agents. First and foremost, you need to know that less is more. This is very, very important. I'm going to teach you some things. This is basically the pistol versus the Tommy gun. This is this. Now, pistols are pros. Tommy guns are amateurs. Now, here's the difference. Less is more is a very simple, it's a biblical principle. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. And now, if I've got enough questions asked, if I made enough connections, I already kind of know what their pain point and solution is. But let's just say they have some objections. All an objection is an area of concern. They're concerned about something, and I need to give them the actual facts, the knowledge, and the logic behind why that should not be a concern of theirs. Sales professionals, they don't even know 2 objections. Most clients will actually have 5, and they can't even overcome 2. So So then they try to berate them and beat them over the head to buy the product. But if I'm a pro, oh, I've got a sling of bullets. So I want you to think about a pistol. Think about an old school pistol. One shot, right? Versus a Tommy gun that has 100 bullets and you just... So they ask you, hey, why would I use you instead of so-and-so? And then you go and explain 57 different objections or 57 facts of things they didn't even ask you. You're just splattered. And you're going, so what do you think? Their brain splattered against the wall. You've confused them. You've added so much more information that actually makes more objections than clarity. So what I mean by that is someone goes, hey, well, I just don't know. Why wouldn't I just go to the bank myself and apply myself? Hey, great question, client. The reason why you wouldn't want to do that is because I've actually got relationships with these bank managers that I know exactly what they look for, what your profile needs to look for. They actually know me, as I always send great clients. I'm going to make sure you're completely qualified, have the paperwork, the stuff in place that they need. So they're actually going to give you a much higher limit, and they're also probably going to give you much more favorable rates. But if you just go and apply on, let's say, chase.com, you're just a number out of 1,000 applicants an hour. They're just going to have an automated AI system that's just out there spitting out limits. So you might not even get the limit you want because you don't have someone that's actually tailoring it and making it towards what you need. That's one shot. And they go, okay, man, that's freaking awesome. Okay, well, what about your fee? And I don't know what the going rate of fees is. Let's just say it's 5 to 10%. And you say, well, your fee's 10%. Hey, look, I completely understand. You right? Hey, I understand that. And to be honest with you, if you go into the bank, you could probably get a lesser fee, right? If maybe you know somebody that can out there and get you a lower fee, that might be true. But you also might have a lower limit. They actually might also jack up your credit profile, which means you only might get that one line of credit or that one credit card. But then they're going to mess up your profile and stop you from lending from multiple sources, maybe different lines of credit, maybe different business credit cards, maybe different things. I'm going to actually say, I'm charging this 10% for my expertise to make sure we don't just get you the most, we also get you the lowest rates. And on top of that, we also can go for round 2, round 3, round 4. I'm not over here going, oh, this is why you should use us, right? Our 10% is the lowest and the highest in the thing. We're the #1 bank relationship managers in the entire world. I know my friend John over there, and me and John went to high school, and he's going to help you because he likes me and he's my friend. Also know our contract says that you better pay us. If you don't pay us, we're also going to add some interest to it. You give them 27 answers to one question, and then you just open up 15 more cans of worms. So less is more. I just need them to understand exactly what they need. They need to have the facts. They need to have the features, benefits, outcomes. As long as my outcome is solving their solution and they're comfortable with that, they don't have no more areas of concern. I've given them a confidence because competence simply provides competence. Now they're competent in the process. They understand it and they're confident in me and they're confident in the product and they're confident in moving forward in the process. So right there, less is more. So now let's say they say, speaking of the less is more, let's say now they say, okay, hey, actually, I like that. What's the process? I'm not going to tell them 574 things. I'm going to make this very simple to understand because people are going to buy on emotion and justify it with logic. So the logic is, hey, man, I'm great. I'm glad you asked that. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to send out a service agreement. It's going to outline exactly what I'm going to do for you. We're going to talk about our fees. We're going to talk about our process, who we use for our bank relationship managers. We're going to go ahead and sign that so we can both agree. The good news is you only pay if I get you money. You don't pay me if I don't. So I'm going to explain that. Once that is, I'll onboard you. We'll go ahead and get all of your data, all of your goals, what you're looking for, get your LLC documents, etc. And then you're kind of done. I'll go ahead and I'll start setting appointments with all of my bank relationship managers, all of my companies that offer the lines of credit and the things that you need. I'll go ahead and do all the white glove service for you. And as you start having approvals come in, you'll get those notifications and you'll let me know if you want to get more or if you want to stop in that process. Any questions on that? Now notice what I said. Any questions on that? That is crucial. I invite questions because what are questions? Questions answer the areas of concern. The question is actually the objection, but I'm opening and welcoming that and not making them feel weird or like combative because they have an objection. No, instead, hey, what's your question? Well, my question is this. What are they saying? I'm actually concerned about blank. Can you answer that for me? I want that. Why is that? Because now people start fighting over price. But the reality is price is only an issue in the absence of value. That's the only time price is an issue. Well, here's the thing. Why do some people get all the way down and they have price issues? It's because they didn't make a connection. They didn't find their pain points. They didn't find their solutions. They didn't just simply answer all the questions they had. So now price is an issue because now the value to them is not there. But if your product is great and you've delivered it properly, the value is already there, so the price should not be an issue. Why is that? Is now you have price versus cost. I've already got their pain points. I know what they actually want to do to solve their problem of not being able to scale by lack of funds. I don't do funding, but this is just simply showing you right here. This is a good example. But if I found their pain points, I found out that funding is the solution. Or remember, if funding is not the solution, I shouldn't even went there. I should have already asked for referrals or switched to another product either in my personal ecosystem or one of my friends' ecosystems. I found out their real pain point was not funding. It was actually creating systems to duplicate their processes. Oh, hey man, you know what? I don't do that. But I actually have a friend named Christina. She can set up all your processes and systems, your onboarding, your trainings, your et cetera. I'm going to actually set up an appointment with her. Now, I'm going to go to Christina if I know I'm always offering these details and say, hey, Christina, can you put me on a commission? And I'll go ahead and send you these people that, if it's not my benefit, if it's not my client, I will send them to you and get a commission. But if I've already found out that pain point is not there, I would have already referred them to someone else. But let's say now I did know their pain points. I did know what they needed. I did know why they can't scale. Well, when we navigate here for the price versus cost, I'm saying, look, Jake, man, I love everything. And it's really going to solve my issues. But your price is just too high. I say, hey, look, I can definitely understand. Hey, listen, Mr. Client, I understand exactly how you feel. In fact, I felt the same way. But what I found out is are you more worried about the price or the cost? And here's what I mean, Mr. Client. The price is 10% of money you didn't have. So if I give you 100 grand, you're paying 10, you're keeping the 90, and you can actually go out there and scale. That is the price. But what's the cost if you don't move forward? Let's just say now that new vertical that you've been wanting to get into costed you 100 grand or 80 grand for that equipment. The equipment comes available. It's the right price at the right time. And you look at your bank account and you don't have the money there. Or you have just enough money, but that would bleed the company so dry you're one mess up or one explosion away from bankruptcy. Well, you want to use your money. You want to use other people's money. So the cost is you just missed out on the equipment that could add another $1 million to your revenue. Or what if the cost is you finally had that CMO call you or that CFO call you, goes, hey, I'm ready. I think I want to work for your company. I want $10,000 a month and I'm yours. And you look at your account, you only got 20, 30 grand in there. And you're like, man, I've already got 15 grand of expenses. But that CFO would add, or that CMO would add another $1 million in revenue. And all I got to have is about 30 grand to cover 90 days. Dang. And just costed me the dream employee I've been begging and dying to hire. So yeah, the price is the price. I'm not here to argue with you about the price. We provide an unbelievable service. We're the best at what we do. This is the price. I think you would agree with me that the price today, yeah, it is 10%. It is what it is. But the price is much less than the cost of not moving forward to solve the pain points and get the solutions you've been looking for, which is why you've been in the same place for the last 2 to 3 years. I want to help you get that. So yes, I'm not going to argue with you on price. It is the price. And hey, listen, if that's a deal breaker for Mr. Client, I completely understand. Hey, give me a call in the next 90 days and we'll go from there. But the cost is actually a much more bigger issue for you. And so with that being said, in closing, here's why. My goal is, remember, to create lifetime value with our clients. Lifetime value. What does that mean? They're going to do business over and over and over with me. And if they don't do business with me, I'm going to make sure that I'm able to refer them to someone else, like earlier, like I said with Christina, to an outside service or an outside vendor, or maybe another company that I'm in partnership with. In my particular example, we've got over 20 companies in our portfolio. There's tons of companies in our portfolio that we can refer them back and forth to and have them inside of our ecosystem. But even if you're just a one-time salesperson, you only sell one product, go out there and make relationships with people who do other outside products and other vendor services that you know your client, your avatar needs often. Connect some affiliate programs with them and say, hey, look, you might not do business with me right now, but man, my friend can help you with that pain point that you need. But if I don't create conversation that makes a friend so I can make a sale, make a difference, that lifetime value ends pretty fast. Once again, there's so many more details. Stay tuned, subscribe. We're going to be going over sales processes, sales psychology. We're talking about a lot of stuff, but the reality is I've always found that conversational selling is always the best way for me. And I used to not do this. I used to be bam, 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 sell, 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 sell. But then I would lose a lot of clients. I might make the sale today and get no referrals. And it stopped, and I was always hunting. But you can get a lot of organic lifetime value referrals from not just a client to keep doing business with you, but them sending you 10, 20, 100 people because they like having conversations with you because you're genuine, you're real, they like you, and they trust you. So if this content actually hit for you, please like, comment, subscribe, send this to all the people that you think, man, if you're a sales manager, send this to your sales team. Say, hey, look, this is how you create lifetime value. This is how you create relationships. This is how you create genuine interest and ongoing business with you, right? And subscribe to this channel. It's gonna be tons and tons more content coming. So if this hit, send it to everybody. We'll see you at the top because the bottom's too crowded.